the interest of full disclosure, I want you to know that I worked in the Atlantic City Fire Department for 10 years. When I went on that department, we had 9 engines, 4 truck companies, we had 324 members. And I understood that at one time, they had 11 engines and 6 truck companies. They're currently operating, I believe now, with 7 engines and 3 trucks, and now that they're proposing to go down to 5 engines and 2 trucks. When you analyze how much fire protection is needed, you have to look at your latent fire demand. And part of that, while I certainly appreciate the whole issue of high-rise buildings, I'll remind you that those are sprinkler buildings, which is a good thing for the people in the high-rise buildings. I think what's being lost in this whole discussion is all of the property that's on the other side of Pacific Avenue, which is where there are significant fire challenges. We have tightly clustered wood frame buildings, where if a fire starts, you need a lot of firefighters very quickly. Why? Because most of those buildings don't have the benefit of any sprinkler protection. And all too often, when you get one building burning, it often went to a second building, and you'd have to transmit a second alarm. And quite honestly, that would take 30, 40 firefighters, which based on the numbers that I'm looking at, you wouldn't even have on duty for that one fire, let alone protecting the rest of the city. Let's talk about mutual aid programs. Atlantic City is surrounded by Brigantine, which only has a handful of firefighters on duty. Ventnor, which has between 6 and 8. Going further south on Absecon Island, you have Margate, which again has about 6 or 8. They're responsible for protecting their community. So if you're relying on them to respond to Atlantic City for a major fire, it's not going to happen. And the offshore communities, the closest ones are Absecon, West Atlantic City, and Pleasantville, which again, don't have enough firefighters. The problem here is that we're faced with some major financial issues. I understand that. But I don't think it's fair to the citizens, and it's certainly not fair to the firefighters, to ask them to shoulder the full burden. The fact is that over the last 30 years, the fire department has seen numerous cuts. And those cuts have affected the level of protection that can be given. I believe with these cuts, you won't have fire protection. You're going to have the illusion of fire protection. You're going to drive past that firehouse and say, there's a firehouse there, I'm protected. But you're not really, because you don't know how many firefighters are on duty, what's their response time, and what are their capabilities. I also understand that in the years since I've left that fire department, their activity level has actually increased, not decreased. So if you have an increase in your activity and a decrease in the amount of resources that you have responding, you will open up the potential for additional injuries to those firefighters, which again is a bad thing. I wholeheartedly endorse Commissioner Bloom's recommendation, and I can't understand how any government would propose taking any action whatsoever without doing a thorough and complete analysis of what the impact of those actions are. And to date, I haven't seen anything from the state government relative to what the impact of these recommended cuts are.
This was active like was feared when the Atlantic City takeover was discussed. Outsiders coming in and dictating by fiat on how the city should be run without any statistics or facts. Any other commissioner? Commissioner Petrolio, and then
The chief, I believe back in November, they appointed this committee to come in and look at Atlantic City. It's now January. Have they come in and said to you, well, what is your manpower? How many guys doing it? Have they done any questioning of you at all about your men?
I will defer to
Yeah,
the president.
No, they haven't, but they did come up with what's called the Hansen Report, a governor's advisory report, and that came up with a budget, what they thought would be a right-sized budget.
Well, there's a budget, and another thing called reality.
Yes, well, I mean, the good news is that we're right at that budget. We've gotten there.
you've met the Hanson.
We've met there and we've done it because of the cuts that we've made. So we've already reached the budgetary number that they have been looking for. Talking about sprinklers, my first day in work, they had 2 fires at the Tropicana the night before. One was inside an interior wall that didn't activate a sprinkler head, and it breached the wall to put that fire out. Later, at 3 o'clock in the morning, there was another fire in an unoccupied spa in the casino. The sprinkler was above ductwork, and it didn't put the fire out. These are the things that, as you all know, something goes wrong with things like that.
Are they talking about cutting firemen inspectors also?
Yes.
Because I can remember this commission years ago, we had a meeting in the Taj Mahal. And Jim Foley at the time gave us a little back tour to show, and he said, I forgot at the time, maybe wrong, he said when he does the inspections, like, he needs like 6 or 8 guys just to do one casino. Now those buildings, you got what, 5 empty now? You got potentials in there.
There's 3 empty. The last time I worked in that district, I responded to an alarm on the 49th floor at the Revel. So obviously, we're still responding to calls there. Now, when we got there, there's only 1 guy who's working in that building.
One guy.
It took us 2 hours to figure out where that alarm was coming from. It's a massive building. These are the, now obviously, when you have the companies there investigating that alarm for that long, they're not available to go to other calls that you're having that night. So,
I'm just reiterating with Commissioner Bloom, I mean, he was absolutely right when he described, they get a survey done and all that stuff, and, you know.
so you've been in some of those buildings,
Oh,
there
yeah.
are mazes in there.
The maze.
To find a standpipe in a building like that is incredibly difficult. I don't care how many times you've been in there, because they hide them behind decorative things, slot machines. There's concerns. And the fire prevention, he did have 12 working for him. Currently, we're down to 3.
Three?
Yeah, Chairman, John, Assemblyman Speaker, Prieto proposed a bill A 4556 to help offset with a $2 surcharge for the Atlantic City. Do you think that bill has any bite to it?
I don't know if the governor will sign it. Ultimately, the frustration that we have in the legislature is whatever good idea we have, it's gotta get passed in. And, I don't think it's any secret, that this seems to have less to do with accounting and numbers and more, to follow his usual need of vilifying public employees. He's found a target, and now he wants to exact revenge. I hope if we can get that done, if the speaker's bill, it'll probably get done. I know that the casino industry is opposed to it, because of all the other room taxes we have.
Sure.
But if money is truly the issue, that should solve it. I just am concerned that the governor is using money as an issue, but it's really not a real issue.
Can I just expand on that too? We'll put our budget up against any other department, meaning that as a percentage of our total city budget or the value of the property that we protect. We're doing just as well or better than most other departments in New Jersey.
Like you said, you got the Hanson report.
Correct.